Hey guys, welcome to TCT Time. I'm your host, Shizuka Anderson, and today I am joined by Sharla,
Hello.
Shiori, and Sarah. Welcome. And if you guys haven't seen the last episode, Sarah is our new staff here at TCT Time. So yeah, welcome to TCT Time. Yay! Come by. Today, we're going to be talking about ways to save money while living in Japan. As you guys probably all know firsthand, and probably a lot of you watching from back home, Japan can be a very expensive place to live and travel. But it's not too bad if you kind of know, if you know the hacks. At least I know in Vancouver in Canada, for example, like housing prices are insane.
It's like I've given up all hope of ever living there.
Yeah. Like nowadays, like a tiny apartment is just like crazy expensive. You need to have roommates for sure, basically. But in Japan, that's not really the case. Living in the center of Tokyo is definitely more expensive than living outside. And you do end up with like smaller spaces if you live in the center of the city. But you can get those smaller spaces for like reasonably affordable prices, which is really great. But I don't actually live in the center of the city, so I can't give like a really good ballpark. But Shiori, I think you're living pretty central. How are the prices, do you think, for you? Is it affordable?
I wouldn't say it's affordable because after I've showing my apartment in Tokyo Creative Play at TC Homes, a lot of people commenting they can't believe it's like more than 15,000 So I think for the average of in abroad, or I'm not sure who they are living where, but compared to that, of course, it looks much more expensive because how tiny this apartment is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you go a bit farther from the station, for example, 15 minutes walk distance, if you want to save some money, just choose the place a bit far from the station, but just use the bicycle or something to explore around, I guess.
Or if you choose a place where a crime was committed, like a murder or something, you could get a really good deal. I used to live in an apartment like pretty close to Ikebukuro, which is like, a big spot in Tokyo. You'd think it would be really expensive. And now they didn't tell me any crime happened there, but I always had a suspicion because it was really cheap. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in a really good location, really close to the station for 7만 2천.
What?
22,000. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure something happened there, and they're just like, oh, we don't need to tell the foreigner. But I can't complain. It was a great apartment, great location. So that's one way you can save money.
Actually, I'm not sure, but I thought that in Japan they were actually like required to.
They are, but I feel like they're like, oh, this foreigner won't know that rule. Let's just not tell them.
You only need to tell once. So, for example, now Shara moved to that apartment. So the next.
So after that, so it's just the person that lived there the first time. You need to tell them, and then after that, it's like cleared because oh my god, really?
The one way to maybe save some money, if you don't mind. For example, living in front of the grave.
Oh,
yes.
That too. Oh,
that's right. Graveyard houses are cheaper.
I don't mind that.
If you don't mind, like, it probably depends on the graveyard. Like, some of them might be like creepier looking than others, but generally, like, they're very well kept, and you can come and like leave flowers and like clean them regularly. So they're actually not that bad to live near. And I didn't realize it, but I do live right next to. Yeah.
Maybe your place is a little cheaper than normal.
It is. My place is actually super cheap, but I thought that the only reason was because it's in a really inconvenient location, which is the other tip. So like I also don't live central Tokyo. I live about a 45-minute train ride away from like central Tokyo, which is not, it's like, it feels long, but it's also not too bad because the trains are very, like, it's one train. It's very easy. Yeah. And I also live very far from the station on the top of like a mountain.
Oh, jeez.
So I live in a
very exercise getting to and from the station. But
I consider it awesome exercise. And like personally, I think that's the reason why I don't gain so much weight is
probably
my daily life involves like biking up a very large hill.
Just think of it that way, and it's a bonus.
It is. So, I mean, my tip would be like living somewhere rather inconvenient, and then you can save money on rent a lot. And if you live outside of the city, you can get a much bigger space, which is what I have. Like I have like a yard. And it's so nice because you just can't.
A yard.
Yeah.
Luxuries.
So luxurious.
Wow.
Charla, you're also not living in Tokyo, but
yeah, I'm up in Morioka. It's one train ride technically. You can take the bullet train from Tokyo to where I live, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think. Quite expensive. I think it's about $150 for the ticket. But yeah, so for a house out here, I have a quite large 2-bedroom apartment, and it's $750 a month. 75,000, and it's brand new. It was like nobody had lived here before me. Yeah, I find that to be a really good deal. And this was one of like the most expensive apartments in the area. Like I thought I would splurge on that. So you can get an apartment here for maybe $400 a month, and it would be a decently sized apartment. So of course, if you can live out in the countryside, that's always a good option.
Definitely. Like if you don't want to sacrifice your space,
yeah,
and the quality of the apartment, then definitely living farther away is super worth it.
I think it's going to be more choices because currently Tokyo Creative is doing the remote work. I think we are giving up the studio and then just renting out the studio whenever we need to, because that's more efficient, and then it's okay. So which means you can live in Morioka or anywhere you want.
Come up to Morioka, everyone.
Next episode over there.
Yeah.
This is the new way to save some money, because you don't need to locate to the center of Tokyo anymore, since we're working from remote, no problem. So
very true.
でもあれじゃない？セイラは you're living in a share house, right? Is there any pros and cons for the saving money?
So my logic was it's my first time living in Tokyo, so I didn't want to be really far away. So I'm like relatively central Tokyo, and that's also why I chose a share house. And you can save money on rent depending on the share house, but mine is a little more like pricier because it's modern. But that being said, I find that I do save money because there's so many people in the house and we are social at home. So rather than going out and meet people at restaurants, taking the train, we all just have like a little party at home. So yeah, like every day we're social, and it saves money in the long run like that.
Yeah, those share houses have really good shared areas where you can like set up a drinking party. Or I've done a video for one of them, and I really liked it. I was sad to leave. It was fun.
It's fun. Yeah, we have a projector and we like pull it down. We have movie nights.
Yeah.
We have like a little like outdoor area, so we have barbecues too.
So cool.
What? That's amazing. So I think that like if you want to live in central Tokyo, share houses are 100% the way to go. If you want to save money. Some of the facilities are amazing, and I had visited one share house that my friend was looking into moving into, and they had like this huge, I can only describe it as like a play area, like but for adults. It was like a chill like an indoor like grass field.
But
and like with like a hill on the top, so like you can kind of like climb up there and sit there and like
have a picnic.
Like big ball chairs, and there's like a little movie area and like a huge kitchen and like a little outdoor garden.
And like we can invite friends to our house, so
the rent is including the utilities as well, or
so in my case, like it includes internet, utilities, and then like we each pay about like 500 yen per month, which is called like a common fee. And with the common fee we buy like toilet paper, soap and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty cheap. Yeah, because we get everything for 500 yen then.
Easy to budget the other things, right? Because you don't need to worry about internet and the utility.
No, and it's also good because in summer, like we don't have to worry about like how much we're using the aircon.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, that's a really good one. I'm a little sad that I've never lived in a share house.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I made that video. I'm like, why didn't I ever live in one?
Yeah. It seems so much fun. Of course, like everyone's experience differs. Like sometimes the people are not as fun to like live with, social. So it depends. You kind of have to scout out which one is for you. But
pros and cons. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But how about like once you move into your apartment or share house, like do you guys have any tips for how to save money in like your daily life?
Do all your furnishing stuff at the dollar store. That should be like your first stop once you get an apartment, because the dollar stores are good here. They're not like the dollar stores in North America. You can get quality items, all your like kitchen utensils, storage buckets, like everything. It's really, really great. It can be like, you can have the smallest amount of money and furnish your whole place. So yeah, go to the dollar store. That's
a good one.
Yeah, adding on that, there's a lot of Facebook groups now out there, like Tokyo Sayonara Sales, and you find lots of like expats or like ryugakuseis that like were studying here and they're getting rid of their things. And sometimes it's free or sometimes it's really cheap. So that's also something I like doing.
That's a great one, because they just want to get rid of it. Because in Japan, it costs money to have your big garbage picked up. So if someone will take it for free, then that benefits everyone.
So true. And speaking of the sayonara sales, recently I saw somebody post in one on like Facebook or something, and they were selling a Nintendo Switch. And that was hilarious because it was gone in a second.
I can imagine. Wow.
Couldn't buy those
Why wouldn't they just bring it with them? That's such a weird thing to sell.
Maybe is it not compatible, like depending on...
They are. You can use foreign games on it.
I find people sell everything in the like sayonara sales groups, like everything and anything.
To like bring everything home. I don't know, like Switches are pretty small, but maybe like they had a lot to bring.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, so those can be really good. You can definitely find good items for cheap. Also like bicycles. I think sometimes you can get really good.
I've done that.
Oh yeah.
What I do is I buy it and then I just sell it when I'm leaving that area.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you don't even like have to worry. You're not paying. You just like same.
That's a great idea.
Because you don't have to pay for moving and stuff like that. Well, for those items.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do people tend to buy them quickly? Like, is it hard?
Yeah. You have to be like watching the page if you're looking for something. If it's like a high demand item, it's gone like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe Craigslist. It's not really a thing for Japanese people, but like the foreign, like expats.
Yeah, the foreign community tends to use Craigslist, don't they?
Yeah. That's another place to check out. But also for like for daily life things like supermarkets. There's definitely some supermarkets where you can get really good deals. One of them would be like there are specialty supermarkets for like businesses. That's kind of what they're aimed at. Like Gyomu Supa is one of them. Gyomu actually means like business. What does that mean? Business?
Yeah.
Kind of like Costco, but not exactly. Yeah.
Pretty much. It's basically, no, actually, I was going to say it's only food ingredients, but actually I think they sell other items. Sometimes you can find clothes and things, I think.
Really? Okay.
I saw on TV. I haven't actually been there, but...
Yeah, I don't have one in my area either. So. But like ways that I save money at my local supermarket, they've always got this like corner with the almost expired fruit and vegetables, and they're always like 50% off, or like fruit is so expensive here, but if you get the stuff that you like have to eat that day, you can save a lot of money. So I always check that to see if there's anything good in the pile. And also if you go at nighttime, they'll put the bentos and all the pre-made food that they can't sell the next day, they'll put that on like half price. So sometimes you can get a full bento for like $2.
So true. Nighttime, that's a really good point. Like nighttime is
if you can wait until later to eat bed.
It has so many people waiting, no?
They'll stand there and they'll wait for the clerk with the ticket gun. Oh my God. And everyone like goes in.
Do you guys know what time they start marking down the bento boxes and things?
I think it's different for every supermarket, but I feel like it's probably around 7 p.m.-ish, like after dinner time.
I feel like 2 hours before they close.
Mm-hmm.
My earlier supermarket were around that time, so 8 p.m. or 7 to 8 p.m. if I go, they started in a small number, so like starting from 20% off, and then they finish at 50
as it gets later. So.
Oh, interesting. So if you go like right around closing time, then it'll be much
cheaper. Yeah.
You may not have the good variation.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But if you go like around probably, as you said, like 7, then I think you'll have the really good selection still, but a little bit cheaper. You can save it for your bento for like the next day or something.
Yeah. Shizuka, you are living a bit of the countryside, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of the farm around your area? Because local veggies, at least my parents' home, they sell like the no one stuff kind of the shops, and then they said, please put your 100 in.
Oh yeah, like in the jar. Yeah, those are so cute. The little farm stands like at the end of their driveway.
Heard about those? Like I've seen those on TV actually, but I haven't seen anything like that in my area. I think that's a really cool system though. It's sort of a donation based.
Yeah, it's always so cheap.
Have you guys at bread shops noticed that they put the crust like really cheap for sale, like just a bag of crust? Like
yeah.
And I like the crust, so I'm always like,
so you just buy that.
Yeah. Buy a bag of crusts?
Yeah, for like 10 yen.
Like equivalent of a loaf of bread, so
yeah.
Let's keep butter on that.
That's hilarious. That's a great idea. Actually, I always wondered what people would buy the crusts for, because like Sarah, how do you eat them? Like, do you dip
just normally? Like, I just put like my butter on it.
Oh.
You guys don't eat the crust?
I eat the crust, but I don't buy only the crust. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be the same without having like the nice part in the middle.
And they are fried. You fry.
Hold on, and make like rusk.
Oh yeah.
You can also make like maybe like agepan style. Like it's like a deep fried bread. It's not rusk yet. It's still like you don't fry it so much, I think. So it's still a little bit soft on the inside.
Sounds good.
The agepan in Japan, you add either like cocoa powder or cinnamon sugar or kinako powder on top. Agepan is amazing. Also, actually, agepan is probably one of the cheaper breads
definitely.
that you can buy.
There's a restaurant you can get it at Hanbei. It's like a Showa era restaurant. They have agepan. I think it's like 70 yen or something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I love Hanbei.
That's a good place to save money. If you want a cheap meal, you want to go out and have fun and have it be really cheap. Hanbei. Each item is like less than $1.
And the cool thing about it is that it's like very retro. It's from like the kind of feels like the Showa era in Japan, which was from
50 to 80s.
And like the snacks kind of are all from that period.
Yeah. They sell snacks as well. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't go there expecting like amazing cooking. It's meant to be retro themed, almost war era style, like cheap snacks.
Like you can even get like canned meat. Like one of the items is like a can of meat. You just open it up and eat it.
It's not spam?
It's what's it called? Not spam.
Konbifu?
Yes, それだ.
Luncheon meat or corn beef or something like that.
Yeah, it's cute. It comes with like a little tool to open the lid.
I've never tried that. Is it good?
I haven't had it, but I've got friends that always order it every time we go there. I just have fun watching them open it with the little tool.
Hanbei, there's so many interesting things there that's worth it buy. And if you're a girl, for some reason, you get
free ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are some ways to save money when you're eating out. But the other thing is like you can eat, if you're eating like local Japanese food, if you don't go to restaurants that serve Western style food, I think you'll find that they're much cheaper.
Totally. They're so affordable. I was so shocked by how cheap food was in Japan. I don't know why everyone has this image of Japan being very expensive, because you can get like a bowl of rice with beef on top for like $3, like a full meal for like $3. Soba, udon, there's so many really cheap options if you're eating Japanese food.
And I find if you have time during the day, like going out for lunch, I don't know, in Australia, I don't find there's like lunch deals at restaurants, but in Japan, there's like the lunch special, and sometimes it's like 1,000 yen less.
For like a really elaborate like set menu. Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Actually, you can even go to like typically expensive restaurants and get a really good deal at lunchtime. So like in the evening, like sometimes in the evenings, they're like high-end restaurants, like quite expensive, but they still have it during lunchtime, like a 1,000 yen lunch deal.
Yeah. Like my friend would get yakiniku for lunch, and it was like usually 3,000, 4,000 yen. It would be like 1,000. Like just going for a lunch break, having yakiniku.
Wow.
So true. So yeah, lunchtime, eating out for lunch is definitely a good way to save money instead of for dinner, because they really raise the prices in the evening for some reason. Also, like teishoku restaurants are really cheap most of the time. They're definitely more traditional Japanese style with like a rice. So a teishoku is like a set meal, I guess. So it's like a bowl of rice and like a bowl of miso soup usually, and then like the main dish. And sometimes it'll come with a little dessert.
And pickles and
little sides. So it's like a really full dish, but sometimes like depending on the shop, like I've seen like 1 coin.
Like 500
like 500 yen.
Yeah, that's common in Japan. The biggest coin here is $5. So it's common for lots of restaurants to do like a 1 coin meal for $5.
So yeah, if you know where to look and you're like looking for Japanese traditional food, it can be super cheap to eat. Like you can eat your $5 lunch every day, and that's a pretty good deal. So we've actually covered a lot of tips today, and I think we maybe have too many for one video. So let's kind of cut it here, and then we'll split this into another video and cover more tips again in the next video.
Please stay tuned.
See
you next time.
And don't forget to give us some tips down below.
Yes.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.